in loads of ways, if Liverpool get the fee that's being reported from Bayern Munich for a lad who's 28 who turns 29 during the season, who Liverpool have had 3 or 4 very good seasons out of, and who last season has a good season, but it's not some sort of epoch-defining season. But what I think he was he was the forwards the manager could just rely on. That's what worries me, is he's losing his sort of... I won't worry too much about that, because one way or another, Diaz will sort that out for me. And that's what I was thinking about AFCON with Salah, was at the start of the summer, was thinking, well, if you keep Diaz, as and when you get to that point, if you've not solved who else plays there, you just put Diaz there, and he'll sort it.
There's a big list of pros and cons with Diaz, and actually there's a big list of pros and cons with selling Diaz. I land on the side of it being the right thing to do, but at the same time, as I've said, it sort of flips us into having a load of work to do, which maybe in a year's time we'll say, well, that was the moment when it became kind of a bit too much work. And you're right about him being so reliable. He's a proper soldier, and he has been for two managers now. And it's in a way, it's a little bit. I've mentioned him once already for some reason. I mentioned him Wijnaldum again, but it was underrated the amount of things that he covered in the midfield and was always available. Diaz is always available. He's never injured. But at the same time, he is, I would say, one of the more upgradable players in the starting 11. Maybe the most, including our new signing. So obviously, if we don't replace him, improve on it, then you'd kind of say that you sort of stop thinking like it's that it's the right thing to do. But as it stands, it is. I land on it being the right thing. It's really interesting that the other part of it is that I think Slot's got form for a lot of churn. Slot has done this before.
Yeah, I think he will. But this is the oddness of being Feyenoord manager.
Right.
Is what I would say, is that when you're Feyenoord manager and you have a good season, people come in and just take your players. So whilst he's done it before, and they went on and had a better season in terms of points, but they didn't win the league because PSV absolutely got an unbelievable points haul. But I'm always a little suspicious of that. Not what I mean, just in a sort of he might have done it before. But it's not from a position of, well, I made up when they all swooped in and bought the players that I was loving working with, if you sort of know what I mean. But I think characteristically, you get the impression, whilst he loves his footballers, he's also quite happy to love other ones. And to say, well, all right, let's do it differently then, because I can, and I'm that sort of guy. I'm that educator. Give me a new pupil. I'll fill me boots.
And that's the coaching life he's led. Coaching teams like Feyenoord. That's the really fascinating thing, though, is how much he's been bought into it. He did it to be fair, last summer. The first thing he did was offload quite a few young players, wasn't it? So I don't think he's averse to it.
But also what I think. So my thing on it is, even if Liverpool go on and do more business, I think that Liverpool will still be in a position to rock up to, let's say, St James's Park and pick 10 lads who played last season, who were all really good, if they wanted to. I don't think they will. 10 lads who played last season and Florian Wirtz. And that's why, whilst on the one hand, there is a fair amount of churn, the other key thing about this, and I think this is another reason why Liverpool are going as heavy as they are in this window, is what they've got to rely on is Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah, and then you can go on and go Alexis McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai, who I thought was great in the game against AC Milan. I thought he just looked like he could play a Premier League game tomorrow. And suddenly you sort of go down that spine and you go, well, I like all them. And then Gravenberch's a younger player, but he's felt increasingly reliable. I quite like Gravenberch's journey last season from revelation into a couple of question marks into Mr. Reliable, which is the journey I think he went on last season. So he could just do all of that. Bradley right back, Robertson left back. I don't think this is what will happen. Gakpo left side, Salah right side, Szoboszlai and Wirtz doing a double pivot, and fast season team in a way, but with Wirtz lashed in. So I think that for me, that's why if it takes a little bit of time, and I wonder if certainly for, say, Frimpong, there's a chance I think his first start comes in a Champions League game. There's a chance that there's a little bit of sort of bedding in of a couple of them over a period.
I mean, I'm sort of. You've made me think about the start of last season and how you think is there going to be a bit of a settling in period? In the end, it's about 45 minutes. Ipswich, but by the time the second half starts against Ipswich, you basically are seeing what we saw for the rest of the season, and it might be that we as fans kind of overrate how hard it is and how much it is how much they need to change.
But the same thing's happening in other clubs. So the other thing that we
This
think
is what I was going to ask you about.
we're focused on us,
Yeah.
and all the clubs are going through. I mean, we can see with Newcastle are obviously having what they feel at the minute like a pretty torrid summer.
Yeah.
Where Arsenal's game 3, at the minute, supposedly, Sean Rodgers, after the review, we were having a chat, and Sean Rodgers said Iriola had a pre-match or post-match of Everton Bournemouth. Sean just had it on in the house, he said, and he gave one of the most Rafa Benitez interviews he's ever heard, because he was asked a series of questions, and his answer to every single question was, that's a good question, but I really need a centre-back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair point about what we might do in attack, but I could really do with a couple of centre-backs. I've lost one. I didn't fancy another one last season, and one of them might be going to PSG.
Yeah.
So it'd be great if we could get some centre-backs. So I think that we think, with this period, I have this thing that it's not a phony war because the points count the same, but I have this thing that the first 3 games, they're almost their own thing.
I hope you're enjoying this free show at the moment. Loads of excellent, exciting stuff on the Anfield app. If you want to be part of the whole thing, you can download the Anfield app and go from there. Or you can subscribe via the YouTube membership as well for video-only content and other bits and pieces. We love doing these shows. We love that you watch them. So come, be part of the journey with us.